We're back now with a movement to fight discrimination based on how people wear their hair.
The Crown Act stands for Create a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair.
Now, she told me that this discussion about ethnic hair started hundreds of years ago. In America, it took off around the time of slavery.
How does one protect one's hair under the grueling conditions of enslavement?
When the Crown Act first came about and people were being fired because of their hair, because it was judged unprofessional, my first thought was, then you need to change the professional standards. You need to change your definition of what's professional. What does that have to do with your work performance? I'm Taloria Crenshaw. I graduated from here in 1985. I'm the Director of Alumni, Parent, and Community Engagement. At first I had a short afro, then I had a really big, cool afro, which I just loved. And you know, I really didn't have many issues at work. I mean, I was, you know, in leadership positions at work. I was, you know, branch director, manager, you know, state director at work, the only person of color in my job in the entire state. And I never had any issues professionally with my hair. But personally, you know, in my own community was where I got the pushback and the comments, you know, comments like, you know, well, you know, you're working out there with all them white people, you need to do something about your hair. Or, you know, how do you go to work with your hair like that? Or you need to make sure that you really look good and that you own it, you know, with that hairstyle. You know, from my own community, I'm told that my hairstyle is not professional. You know, and some of it was from older people who, you know, grew up in the 40s, 50s, and 60s when, you know, you want your hair straight, or, you know, they ascribe to the European models of beauty, you know, light skin, long hair, you know, makes you better and that's what makes you look good. And then I got comments like, well, you must think you're in the 70s, you know. So most of the feedback I got was from my own community and not so much. I never had any experiences at work. So when I started teaching yoga in 2017 was when I explored the thought of locking my hair. And once you lock your hair, you know, they say you can't go back. So my youngest daughter was in undergrad at South, and she started her locks in 2017. And again, from the family, you know, you look like a chicken head with all that stuff in your hair, you know, and of course now her locks are down to here. So as people slowly started embracing locks, it became more and more popular, you know, and I wanted to lock my hair. So when I started working here in 2021, I had my interview with the president then, Dr. Lee, and my mother said to me, well, you need to do something with your hair. You know, you can't go out there to Spring Hill and working with all them white people with your hair looking like that. And when of course, you know, I knew Dr. Lee, and when I met him, you know, he hugged me, never had any issues at work. And every other day my mama would be like, well, that looks good and you dress nice, but in your position, you need to do something with your hair. And I'd be, yes, ma'am, okay, mama, love you, bye. So in April of 2022, I finally just like took the plunge, you know, locked my hair. And it was Easter Sunday. You know, I went to my mom's house after church. So we getting ready to go. You know, we had dinner with her. And my mom is 82. She's retired Command Sergeant Major, 27 years in the Army. And we're standing on the porch and she said, you know, you just set us back 200 years. And I was like, ma'am, she said, you look like a slave with your hair like that. And I was like, okay, mama, love you too. So When I had to go to work the next day, you know, then I'm the director of marketing and communications. I'm all over the media with the school. I'm doing all the PR. I'm doing all the news releases. I'm the one on camera. I'm super nervous. So I come in, you know, my team is there. My VP, white guy, first person I encountered when I walked in. Hey, T, that looks good. I like it. That looks good on you. That looks great. Okay. Team was like, oh my God, you look good. You look 10 years younger, you know, blah, 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 blah. Never had any issues at work. I get home. I'll be glad when them nigger braids go out of style. I get so tired of people looking at their heads look a mess. That's what I hear from my own family and my own community. But my friends, you know, everybody else, you know, we love it. It's beautiful. You look so different. And the reason people said I look so different is because I'm at peace with who I am. I'm comfortable. It's so much more of an expression of me. I go to yoga teacher training. I spent a month in Mexico. I'm the only person of color in the whole resort. And I don't speak Spanish. But nobody ever treated me any differently. You know, I mean, even the chef, well, they called me the chocolate lady because I didn't like cilantro. So he would make food for me. No, this is for the chocolate lady, no cilantro. But I never had any issues, you know, traveling with work. Like right now, I travel, I host alumni events all over the country. I have no issues. I don't have, you know, the stereotype cliche stuff that I thought. Nobody asked me to touch my hair. I'm like, if you want to touch it, you can touch it. It's just hair, you know. I mean, at my age, I don't know if you call it a boyfriend, but my friend, he loves it. You know, he said it's just you know. Our society subscribing to European standards of beauty. And we as black people, you know, people of color, have had those standards forced upon us, and in some of our communities they are ingrained. So anything that deviates from that is judged or questioned. So even as far as we have come, you know, in terms of, you know, how people dress and our acceptance of standards of expression among people as individuals, even though we have come a long way, there is still that underlying current of you need to look like everybody else, you need to dress like everybody else in order to be accepted. Maybe I've just been lucky, maybe I've just been blessed, but you know, from my leadership, from CEOs, from presidents, I never experienced some of the pushback that I read about with other people, like the student being kicked out of school. And I can't imagine being judged because of how I dress or how I choose to wear my hair, you know. I think in order to make your way as an individual, you have to establish yourself personally and professionally. And like I said earlier, you know, I'm not necessarily judged by my hair or how I look. You know, people know me as, well, you know, she's Taloria, she's the alumni director, she's, you know, she's an alum, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And I'm comfortable enough with myself at this point in my life and in my career. I don't have anything to prove. I think that people should have the liberty to wear their hair in a way that's an expression of themselves and what makes them feel comfortable.